He's photographed some of the world's most famous faces, like political figures such as Fidel Castro and Yasser Arafat, to athletes like Michael Schumacher and Tiger Woods, celebrities like Claudia Schiffer and Monica Bellucci, and countless other cultural icons. At 18, Gerard Rancinan started off as France's youngest photojournalist and transitioned into the world of fine art, contemporary photography, and portraiture. His work uses classical influences from the rich history of art to express real issues about contemporary society and culture. The images he's created are breathtaking and balanced and beautiful and bold, all the while telling us something very important about the current world we live in. So today I'm speaking to the man himself at Opera Gallery in DIFC, where he's having a solo exhibition to discuss the famous people he's photographed, art that's influenced him, and how he knows a photo is finished. Welcome to Dubai.
Thank you.
What do you think of the city of Dubai generally?
It's a city of the future. It's a result of the genius of the human being.
It's widely known that you started off as a photojournalist.
Yeah.
Do you remember why you got into the field initially? What drew you to photography or photojournalism initially?
I started very young because in school it was not easy for me. I want to be free, I want to be creative, and my father was very clever and said, okay, maybe we have to find for him something creative and so on. And so this is why I start in a newspaper, because my father worked in a French newspaper in south of France.
Do you remember when you first thought, or maybe somebody told you, I'm pretty good at taking photos?
Well, my first picture.
Yeah? Do you remember what the first picture was?
Yeah, because during 3 years,
yeah,
I mean, since 15 years old to 18 years old, I was a learner. I stay in a lab. I process the film and so on. But in a secret corner, I prepare my I bought a camera and I was ready. And at 18, like a runner, like a champion, I am ready for the Olympic Games. You know what I mean? And at 18. I became a photojournalist, and the boss of the photographic section of the magazine of the newspaper say, okay, Gerard, you are 18, and there is a crash in Bordeaux, France. There is a crash of a car, of a big truck in a huge bridge, and you go. But I go there exactly. It was the same thing for me to go in Vietnam for the war. It was the same thing. I was ready to shoot the best picture of the world. I want to be the best photographer in the world. I was ready for that. And I shoot a picture. I go on the ground. I put a red filter. The sky become completely dark. It was incredible. The chief editor of the newspaper saw this picture and said, wow, Gerard, it's incredible. And he published it in 5 columns, in the cover of the newspaper. This is my first picture.
Your first photo?
My first photo.
Yeah.
I was at this time the best photographer of the world. The morning after, I go sleep, and after that, I walk on the street of Bordeaux. And I saw people read the newspaper with my picture on. I say, wow, man, it's magic. But the same people, after read it, take the newspaper, fold it like that, and drop in the garbage. I say, oh, merde. Oh, shit. I have to make another picture and another picture. It's never finished.
Yeah, never ending.
This is why 50 years after that, I'm here.
To me, photojournalism, you have to be quick, you have to be there, you have to take a photo, the moment can pass you and you lose the image. But with your fine artwork, it looks like it's a moment you capture, but lots more planning, lots more thinking, lots more composition, thinking about composition. So was this change of thinking from photojournalism to fine art refreshing? Was it natural? Was it difficult for you to change your mindset?
No, because it's the same line. For me, a portrait, since my first picture I described to you, to the last picture I did, it's the same way. It's the same thing. I want to be a witness. So when you are a reporter, you are a witness. And when you are an artist, you have to be a witness too.
Looking at your work, you combine, obviously, very contemporary problems, issues that are happening right now, with classical imagery, classical paintings that we know. Was merging these two different things very simple for you? Was it, because obviously you must be a fan of the classical work like The Last Supper and Raft of Medusa and these Matisse. Was this something that happened naturally, or you once had an idea like, I want to combine these two different ways of looking at things?
An artist is someone who is a link between each other, And sometimes, very often, I produce different pictures completely designed by my spirit and so on.
So when do you know when something's finished?
When I'm tired about to see, I say no, it's too much. I can add more. I put the picture on the side of my studio. A Sunday when it's so quiet in a studio. 8 days after, or 10 days after, I'm back in the studio, and I turn the picture, and I say, okay, it's enough, no more. But I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Sometimes, 1 year after,
you look back and think,
and I say, man, something is missing,
It's an interesting question, because I always ask writers and fashion designers and artists, when do they know it's finished? Because if you keep working, it can become too much after. So
yes,
you need to get that balance.
The balance is so important. Say too much is too much, but not enough. It's complicated. It's just like a guy on a string, like that. And
So I want to know, for you, is there an artist, classical artist, or photographer, old one or new one, that you look at their work and think, wow, I want to be better? Is there something in artist?
Of course. I have no master. I have no master, because I imagine the artists, for example, Greco, Picasso, Dali, all these guys are the same. I'm sure all people are very famous today, but when at that time, when he was alone in this studio, he was like me, completely difficult, no pretension. Okay, we are the same, all the same, but sometimes I say, wow, this picture is rare, but of course, like art have to be rare. Art have to be beautiful and rare. Voilà. But sometimes I say, wow, it's deep. It's only because he talk about human being, about humanity. Guernica from Picasso. And Guernica from Picasso, it's not only a painting. It's a message. It's from eternity. He talk about cry, war. I was a young guy, and in America, it was in New York at this time, and I visit this painting, and when I was in front of this painting, I don't see a painting. I heard the people who run in the street and cry because the bomb fall down, you know what I mean? And this is the role of the artist, the role of the painting. Voilà.
So I want to talk to you about 3 of your pieces that I really like.
Yeah.
So this one's the first one. The Banquet of Idols. It relates to so many people, even if you don't understand art, you don't know art. You see this and you recognize the people. These are very famous, pop culture icons. So for you, I want to know, why did you want to combine them all?
It's a good question, because it's an incredible picture, We want to talk about schizophrenia, because we are completely schizophrenic. All our society is completely schizophrenic, We make a selfie, we want to be top and nice, and we want to be the first, and we talk about himself, moi in French, every time, and so on. And in fact, all these people all these people on the picture want to stay for eternity. Only one, there is no only one, maybe more, but never look alike. It's Jesus Christ, of course. And here, all these people wants to be in competition with him. All people there wants to be known celebrity for 2,000 years. It's a reflection about schizophrenia. This is why we put all these guys. It's just an example, but voilà.
My favorite work of yours is this one.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. You talk about press. Well, of course.
It's a very popular image, and when I look at it, I think it's so relevant today, relevant 50 years ago, relevant 100 years ago.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting coming from you, because you worked
Of course. This is why I can do that. So it's a very hard picture, It's a very hard picture because, press today is so important, And every day when you watch the TV, you hear the radio, you read the paper, It's not only the news. It's there is a lot of information, And
too much.
Of course. Not too much. It's difficult to say. But no hierarchy, No hierarchy. Press, it's more and more influence, And so I want to talk about that. I want don't be dupe. Dupe is a name.
Yeah, dupe. Don't be tricked.
Voilà. You have to see. You have to read the book. You have to look at the TV. But don't be dupe. Okay. Stay. A free thinker.
From when you started to now, the medium of photography has changed so much. Everybody has a camera on their phone.
Yeah.
Everyone can be a journalist. Everyone can be a photographer. Do you think this has made the field of journalism and photography better, worse, different? What's your opinion on that?
To be journalist or artist is not technical. It's just what you have to say. What you have to. You have to be free. You have to be curious. You have to be. To be curious, And technical, if you use that, iPhone or a small camera, we don't care about that. We don't care, The most important, what are you doing? What you say?
Yeah.
What is the transmission? This is the most important thing. This is why I say all my work is the same since the beginning. From this crash in Bordeaux, it was my first picture, to the Feast of Crumbs presented at Opera Gallery, Dubai today, is the same work.
Yeah.
It's the same work. I talk about my contemporary. I follow them.
Yeah.
I talk about them.
You photographed, you mentioned before, so many well-known people from, political icons to celebrities. So for you, when you're photographing them, how do you approach them in a different way than they have been seen before?
For example, when I shoot a picture with Fidel Castro, it was very, very difficult to get a rendezvous with Fidel Castro, of course.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Only 2 times he posed for a photographer. One time in 1958, in front of the Life magazine photographer, and the second time for me. So, I imagine Castro front of America, stand on the rocks and defy America. So I arrive in La Havana. Of course, I met the PR and the secretary. He said, "Do you have an idea for the picture for tomorrow with Fidel Castro?" I say, "Oh yes, of course. He will be stand up on the rocks, front of America, etc., etc." And the guy said, "Yes, but no, Fidel Castro stay in his bureau, in his office." I said, okay, perfect. And the PR said, "Do you have another plan? Do you have a plan B?" I said, "Yes, of course, I have a plan B." "Ah, cool, what is it?" And back the plane and back to Paris, But after that, I met Fidel Castro and I proposed my idea. And Fidel Castro said, "Yes, it's incredible, cool, we go, we do it." I don't want to impose something, but how can I say? I don't care about Fidel Castro. I mean the man. I mean the personality.
I see what you mean.
I care about what I imagine about him. What is the legend of him? And the legend is on my picture now.
Given everything we've talked about and the work that you do you believe that art, photography, can bridge people's differences, can change the world?
No, another photographer, a young one, said in a book, art change the world. What's mean? Change? Nothing change the world, or everything change the world, It's a stupid things, If one of my pictures, small one, big one, don't care, change a little bit the opinion, change a little bit the day of somebody. Of course, it changed world for him. And when we produce with my team a big exhibition in Italy or in China or everywhere in the world, in museum, one day in Italy, I read the book, the gold book in English. It says the same, a book, and people write on.
Yeah.
And some people said, "Oh, brilliant, a big picture. I love your work." And so, okay, super, thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. And one, right? You change our Sunday.
Oh,
This
nice.
is the best compliment.
This is great.
Voilà.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you. I'm
Really
sorry.
appreciate
I have a
it.
question for you. Do you understand what I say or not?
Of course, I know
Okay,
what you
cool.
say. Of
you.
course. Thank you so much. I really appreciate
Thank
you
you.
taking the time. Thank you.
No,
And I'm
thank you.
excited to come
Your
tomorrow.
questions are very good, and I
Thanks.
appreciate a lot.
Thank you.